All right, everyone, come on in, come on in. We are so glad that you are here. Welcome back to another weekly Wednesday Q&A with Maggie and Lucy. No agenda, just come on in and put your questions in the chat. Today is your day, so we are here to give back and to provide as much value as we can. We'll do a quick introduction and then we are going to pull up you all's questions. Of course, we've got some announcements, some really exciting things happening at the finishing school, and we could not be happier than to share it with you all. So, first of all, Lucy, it's so good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's so good to see you too, Maggie. It's one of those our weekly get-togethers. I look so much forward to them because it's just you and our chat. I love it, and those amazing questions that come in that sometimes are a little challenging to answer, but it's great to see everyone's point of view and how their life applies to them.
Absolutely. So I am going to go ahead and drop the link just in case anybody wants to talk to Lucy and I. You can be Lucy and me. You can be camera on or you can be camera off. Don't be shy. If you prefer, you can just type your question in the chat and we will do our best to answer them from our own personal experience. So, a little introduction, a little bit about me. You all may know me as Maggie, the substitute teacher. I am a content creator on YouTube. I've got a cooking channel. I'm also a former wife and a boy mom times two teenage boys. Let's see. I have over 20 years of corporate experience. I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a few IT certifications. But my happy place is here with you all. Like Lucy said, this is the highlight of our days and weeks. Believe me. We have also started the finishing school for the modern woman. We are so excited. We are coming up on week 4. If you are new here, the finishing school is available for ladies of all ages. Lucy and I are passionate about etiquette and elegance and femininity. So you can click the link in the description and get on the wait list. It is an 8-week online course that's privately taught, and our next intake will be in January of next year. So that's a little bit about me. Lucy, would you like to introduce yourself?
A little bit about me. I am a married woman, 16 years married. Um, I have a bachelor's in vocational education, and how Maggie and I came together was because she kept hearing from other folks wanting her to share her knowledge about all related to femininity, etiquette, and elegance. And how I got involved in this was I said, well, I've written curriculum for schools. I can help you with that. And that's where it all began.
Absolutely. And the rest is history. I always tell you all, look, I've done a lot of work to refine myself. I was married at 25 to my college boyfriend, but I always admit that I got caught up in some of that modern woman mindset. We're equal, we can do everything just like a man until I hit the wall. Because we're not trying to do it until we're 65. So unfortunately, it did end in divorce, but everything is amicable and we co parent really well. Since the divorce, I've been in another long term relationship with a 1% man, which means I have had to get on the program and really refine myself. And I've never been happier. So this is what we share from our life experience with our students. So, again, as you all come in, go ahead and put any questions that you have in the chat. In the meantime, we'll give you all some updates while we're waiting on the questions to come in. But first, let me thank Anthony from your channel, Lucy. He says, both of you ladies become more and more beautiful by the day. Aw. Thank you so much for that. Lucy and I are very passionate about the older women teaching the young. I'm 47. Lucy has shared that she is 57. And we have a Kevin Samuels connection. I was so fortunate to be able to book a session with the late, great Kevin Samuels. And you all know and remember LuCasley fondly as one of his moderators. So we definitely want to do our part. All right, so I am going to share my screen and give you all a few updates like we always have our Q&A slides. But again, this is your night, so feel free to interrupt with your questions and we are happy to answer them. All right, so let's see, what do we have here? A few new things. All right. So again, you can click the link. I think I pinned it. If I didn't pin it, I did just drop it in the chat. If you want to be camera on or camera off, you can talk to Lucy and I for free, or you can type your questions in the chat. So we told you a little bit about who we are. We are content creators and we are passionate about giving back. We are also the founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman. But wait, there's more. There's a few exciting announcements that we want to share with you all tonight because we are just getting started. We have a new course that will be launching in about a month, and it is called Hosting Etiquette for the Modern Woman. So I'm going to bring this down and we're going to talk a little bit about this because this actually was feedback that we got from our students. And with the holidays approaching, and some of us may have a little bit of anxiety when it comes to hosting people, everything that goes into it. And whether or not it's hosting in your home, it could be a business luncheon, it could be an interview, it could be anything. We're going to talk about the roles for the host and for the guest so that you ladies can show up and have a wonderful experience regardless of what role you are playing. But I'm going to put a pin in that because I see our first question, and I'll drop the link because we got a coupon code for you all as well. All right, first question from Ene, beautiful name. She says, I'm a bit rough around the edge when it comes to being courted. How would you suggest tipping my toe back in? Oh, this is a good one. Well, first of all, thank you for the question. And I always say, ladies, if you notice you have masculine tendencies, don't beat yourself up. I raise my hand and say, I was there too. I've told you all multiple times. I remember coming home and saying, oh yeah, we need to do this and this. And my ex-husband was like, I don't work for you. And we just don't realize sometimes how those masculine traits come on us. First of all, boy mom. Second of all, I work in corporate America, which is very masculine. Then I work in technology, which is very data driven. So the fast paced world that we are in, and honestly, the way we are trained is to compete with men as men. So we have to be very intentional. We talk about this in the finishing school. We tell our students all the time, number one is awareness, right? So the fact that you even know that this is happening, I want to give you credit for admitting that. So the natural roles, and Lucy and I are very traditional, is that men lead. And ladies, if a man is interested, he will make that known. There's nothing that we can do, and there's nothing that we should do to try and draw that out of him because we're going to have to finish how we started. So unless you want to be leading the relationship 3, 5, 10 years later, stop, take a beat, and allow him to lead. And just get comfortable in receiving. I tell our students as women, we need to do less and be more. And that doesn't mean not being productive, but when you allow yourself to rest in your femininity, you actually find that it's so much more comfortable to relieve that need to be running everything. So that's what I would say to start. Lucy, what would you add?
Great suggestion, Maggie. I also think that when it comes to the fact that we are meant to receive, I think one of the things is just to be ready to welcome anything that comes to you. Any smile from a gentleman, an older gentleman, a younger gentleman. Just start reciprocating that behavior. I think that a lot of times I hear modern women say that, you know, men's behavior is not a good thing, but men, for the most part, they just want to be our gentlemen. They just want to be our knights. They just want to make us happy. So even on the streets, when you smile at someone, at a man, they just find it as something so beautiful and feminine that we as women have, that we have lost that. So I think that, Ine, I think that from your picture you already have the look. You look beautiful, you look welcoming. So all you need to do is just, smile back and wait for that man that's going to be looking at you to approach you.
I love that. I am so glad that you shared that. Thank you so much, Ane, for the question. Next, I see Nicole says, I love this. I can relate to the recipe video. Yes, if you all are interested in the hosting class, stay tuned for more. I think I put the link in the description if you want to go ahead and check it out. We have Cooking with Sir Senior. He says, hi, this is Sir Senior's wife. Should I come in on my account, or can I ask questions on his account? By all means, everybody is welcome here. So whatever questions you have, feel free to type them in the chat, or you can click the link. Absolutely. Ane says, oh, thank you. Thank you both for answering. Love you too. And we love you back. We've got Miko. Miko says, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Amen, Miss Maggie. I just lost my husband of 32 years. I am so incredibly sorry. I can't even imagine. I'm so, so sorry. Wow. The smile he gave me always made me melt. Absolutely. And I would say, it's reciprocated, ladies. You would not know how much a simple smile and eye contact goes a long way with men, especially in our community who feel like they're overlooked. And it makes you stand out because most women that they look at are not warm and welcoming. So that's a little tip. Who do we have here? We have Kim K. She says, hi, Maggie. I really appreciate these Q&A sessions. I'm so glad you do. Maggie, being in corporate setting, where it is competitive, how do you turn it off when you get home with your man? This is a big one. And I'm going to say it takes practice. I am at a point now where I'm much more mindful than I used to be. Y'all, I used to just run through life like a bull in a china shop because that's how you almost have to be to succeed in other areas of life. But once you realize, maybe I'm just old and tired, but once you realize that the success that we have professionally or educationally does not translate in relationships, at least not to the caliber of man that you want. He doesn't care about your degrees and he doesn't care about your salary. All of that is for you. So for me, it helps me to kind of compartmentalize that and keep it in the box where it needs to be. In addition to that, I am much more feminine at work so that I'm more consistent, meaning I don't overtalk people in meetings. I don't shout to get attention. I don't use language that's harsh. So I stand out even in the corporate space. I'm more comfortable. My presence is more consistent. So I have to do less code switching, if you will. But I would just say for any ladies who are in a masculine environment, which corporate America is masculine, these companies want to win, they're competitive, it is what it is. And that's fine if that's the type of work that you have to do. I would say number one is awareness. And whatever routine you have to do when you get home to promote your softness, if it's changing out of that power suit and putting on something soft and comfortable, if it's lighting a candle, having some flowers, playing some soft music, whatever you need to do to get your mindset in that soft place so that you can carry out that femininity, that's what I would do until it becomes like second nature. Lucy, how would you answer that?
That is an amazing question. And I don't know how to, Miss Allen, Mieko Allen. I am so sorry for your husband's passing. I can't imagine going through that with my husband. And what you said, the smile he gave me always made me melt. Exactly. So going back to Kim's question, I think one of the things that helped me coming back from work, even till now, is having my husband. He gets up, goes to the door, and he gives me one of those hugs that just puts all the worries behind. And that's what sets me back in. Okay, I am safe. I'm at home. I have my husband who loves me. I'm here. So I think that like Maggie said, having a sort of like a routine or something that would tell you, okay, now it's time to put all my assertiveness, corporate walls down because now I'm home and I am here to serve my husband and we're here to be together. I think that would help a lot.
I love that. Absolutely. There's nothing like the presence of a man. There's nothing like the hug from a man. Ladies, I always say, and look, those of us that have been in college and these environments, it's not our fault. We were taught that we can do everything that a man can do. We're just like them. We're not. We're built differently. And if there's anything that I'm very passionate about, because I still see a lot of myself in younger women, as you age, you're going to naturally slow down. And so just think about the 40 and 50 and 60-year-old version of you, like Kevin Samuels used to say, and start acting accordingly. But we're equally valued, but we're definitely not equal. All right, so everybody coming in, this is your night. Any questions that you have? You haven't missed anything at all. Whether you're watching live or watching the replay, we appreciate you. So continue to put your questions in the chat. Do we have a super chat from Kim K? She says, thank you, ladies. Thank you. I am going to add you into the ticker. But yes, by all means, just because you have that big corporate job does not mean that you want to or need to bring that into your relationship. All right, so while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, I am going to talk to you all a little bit about the new course that we have. This is for any ladies who are interested in hosting. And it actually came from one of our students who said that, with Thanksgiving coming up, she's got a little bit of anxiety when it comes to hosting the family. And so, my tip to her was, don't start with Thanksgiving dinner. That's a lot of pressure, right? Start small. But one of the things that is natural to us, and I think one of our feminine superpowers, like Lucy said, is serving and being useful. That's important to men. And I think it's very fulfilling as a woman. So we are going to have a mini course. This is going to be a 1-day course, and we have a discount code for you all. For any of you all who are here listening on the live stream, there is a 10% off discount code for you. This course is going to be, I believe it's Sunday, October 29th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be another private Zoom. It will be about 90 minutes, no more than 2 hours. We'll leave some time for questions, and the agenda is in the link in the description. We've got another question coming in here. I love it. Keep peppering us with questions. Is it Miko? She says, "Thank you, ladies. I'm a transit street supervisor. So once I got home, I had to release the reins and let him be the lead and the head of the household." That is so true. And yes, working in transit, that's another masculine career. And so most women that you find that work in these type of jobs that have successful relationships like you did for over 3 decades are very intentional about taking that off. And funnily enough, we want to take that off when we get home. We don't want the burden of having to make all the decisions and have to do everything. So I'm so sorry for your loss, but I'm so glad that you have over 3 decades of memories that can never be taken away. Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to add Kim K to the ticker. Lucy, would you like to share anything about our new hosting etiquette course?
I think like I told you, like I mentioned to you before, I am looking forward to learning from you because you're going to be leading it. And again, sharing all that knowledge with everyone else is just so important because again, in the modern world, because we're moving so quickly, some of those um, more delicate behaviors have been put to the side and even forgotten and even not even touched from generation after generation. So some of the information is new for many of us. So this is something that I am so much looking forward to. And I think Rosetta has a question or a comment.
Absolutely. I do see a comment from Priest. Thank you so much. And Rosetta, hello and welcome. She says, "Hello, ladies. I usually wear a mask when out shopping. I appear to get more attention from men with my mask. I wonder, is it because I'm using my eyes more with my mask on?" It could be. Now, I don't know the specific answer to this, but ladies, eye contact and smiling, but if you have a mask on, they won't be able to see your smile, is so important. And what we teach, a lot of this is subconscious and it's primal. If you look at the ways that humans have developed over the years, whether you believe in evolution or not, if you go back hundreds and thousands of years, humans had to be able to establish if someone who is approaching them is friend or foe. And so there are certain behaviors that we do when we mean well, and there are certain behaviors that we do when we mean harm. And eye contact, actually looking at someone, not only is respectful, but it shows trust, it shows peace, it shows I don't know how to say, like, just welcome. I see you, you see me, and I don't have anything to hide. So, ladies, again, I know a lot of times in our culture, we put a lot on adorning ourselves with all of these things, but there are so many simple things you can do as a feminine woman that are even silent. Just take a moment to make eye contact. You can smize, even if you're not smiling with your teeth. I've practiced just a simple nod, just a simple gesture goes a long way. So that could be it. Lucy, what would you say about the eyes?
And I think also they can tell whether you're smiling sincerely because a sincere smile shows in the eyes. So I think that there's been, behavioral analysts that do take a look at body behavior or a language. And one of the key things about a genuine smile is that you're you're smiling with the entire face. So if you're smiling with your mask on, they will see that your eyes are all also smiling. And also going back to what Maggie said about looking at people in the eye, it also shows reverence. I respect you. You respect me. Is that kind of exchange that you have, and we all want to be acknowledged. Even if you walk by, the perfect example is if you walk by a person, a homeless person, when you acknowledge them, it means the world to them because everybody else has passed them by without even letting them know that we know that you're there. So it's that thing. I think that Rosetta, that's a very good observation that you've done. That even when you're wearing a mask, men know sometimes. Maybe you have very I don't know, coquettish smile or eyes where you raise your eyebrow, and men love that. That's the beauty that we have, that they see. Men love the beauty of women, and even imagine, even with a mask, they want to approach you. They just see that there's potential there.
I absolutely love it. And keep the questions and comments coming. Thank you, Priest Brooklyn. We appreciate you. But we talked about this, I think, in session one of the finishing school about silent femininity. There's so much in our culture as women that's loud and in your face and just, needs to have attention and take over. Not only is that masculine, but it's not attractive. If I come in here and I'm in your face and I'm shouting, your natural reaction is to pull back. But if I slow down and I soften my voice, it actually makes you want to lean in. So, ladies, just be mindful of that. I've had to work on that a lot. I used to have masculine gestures, just grabbing stuff and opening cabinets and just really hard. Like, why? Taking the time to slow down, a lot of silent femininity goes a long way. We got the condemned in the house. Absolutely. Thank you all for the compliments. Hopefully, you are somewhere safe when you're being hypnotized. We've got Selma here. Selma says, great advice, ladies. I am seeing myself in those questions. I work in a very stressful environment and found it difficult turning the boss volume down when I get home. You're not alone. And I don't know how old you are, but I know that a lot of it with me happened with age too. We're just not built for it for the long haul like men are. So, being aware of it and being intentional about modifying your tone, you'll get to a place where you actually look forward to having that softness. I don't know any boss babe women that are 65 or 55. You just naturally want to take a step back and we want the men to lead. So my passion and my fire is to help women course correct before you get to that point where it's too late and you've burned every bridge. So very proud of you. Lucy, do you want to say anything about the boss volume?
Yeah, I think I mentioned to you earlier today, when you asked me to review the podcast, when I heard your voice, it was so soothing, and my voice was a little bit louder than usual. So I don't know if it's I need to tone it down, just like you, or maybe I need to get my microphone a little lower. I don't know, but that made me um, reflect. Okay, am I being too loud? What am I doing here? So I think that the tone and the voice, and just being aware that maybe a lower volume would make you a little bit more feminine. That would help, I think. And when I think about you as that example that you say, I used to come into the house and shut all the doors and everything loud. And it's funny because even when I go into the ladies' room, you hear some women going through the toilet really hard and doing things really hard. And I'm like, wow, that person is loud. And it's that behavior that you don't know what you don't know. So for me, it was you giving that example where I started paying attention to how I do things to be a little more to tone it down a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had to work on it. And you all, I'm still a work in progress. I've done a lot of study, I've taken a lot of classes, but if you watch any of my cooking channels, I still have a silly side. And that's fine sometimes. It's just not always appropriate. And I've had to learn that. But I've paid attention, when I talk to people and they're kind of doing like this, I was like, oh my God. gosh, am I that loud? Like I didn't know. So absolutely. Two things you all can do to be instantly more elegant: slow down and lower your volume. You can say whatever you need to say, but that has been very helpful for me. Rosetta says, thank you. Yes, eye contact is the magic. You are smiling. Yes, so Lucy was right. They can see it even through the mask because it shows in your eyes. Our eyes kind of twinkle when we're genuinely happy. And if you all have ever worked like at a call center or customer service, or I've heard somewhere where they say, answer the phone, like even if you're interviewing for a job or something, answer the phone or talk when you're smile when you talk, it actually comes through. So this is why we want to reinforce, it's not one of those things that you can just turn on and turn off, but if you genuinely have it in your core, it's going to come out, and you may not have to say anything at all. It could just be that simple gesture. We've got Selma who says, I learned to change my behavior quickly. My husband was not having it. How about that? Yes, ladies, I have had to, I've shared this, it's been a while, but the relationship that I'm in is someone that, I grew up with. And so I could get kind of like silly and just kind of quirky because that's naturally who I am. But I remember, like I said, as a woman, we naturally slow down. Men my age and older are usually putting it into second gear, whether it's businesses that they want to do or whatever. They're just built to go longer at that same speed. And I remember he was getting groomed for a VP role. He's now a VP. And I remember thinking to myself, oh boy, he's going to be around the caliber of people that really do know how to behave. I need to get myself together. So that was kind of my wake up call to start enrolling in classes and doing a better job, conducting myself in mixed company. And I didn't tell him anything about it. I just started practicing what I was learning. And he's like, babe, my conversation was better. My posture was better. My tone was better. He was like, are you doing something? What's going on? I noticed a difference. And I'm like, I'm so glad you asked, right? That's really Maggie. But I was like, yes, I started taking etiquette classes. And so that's what we're going to be teaching you, ladies. We have the finishing school. We have the hosting etiquette class. That's going to be a mini course. Link is in the description. If you're a current student of ours, check your email. You have a discount code in there. If you're on our mailing list, check your email. You also have a discount code in there. Plus, it's going to be available to anyone in the live stream. You can purchase the course for 10% off, and you have lifetime access. Oh, you're making tea. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh my goodness. The compliment king is giving us a compliment saying, thank you two for teaming up and addressing this. Absolutely. And gentlemen, we want to hear from you. This is your weekly Ask Us Anything, and you all can chime in. If we left anything out with the questions that we are answering, please, by all means, let us know. So Lucy kind of shared some other updates that I wanted to give you all. So again, link is in the description for the hosting etiquette for the modern woman. So if you want to be comfortable welcoming people into your home or any space, we've got a course for you. It's about a month out at the end of October, just in time for the holidays. So if you know anyone that struggles with being a good hostess, we've got a course for you. All right, so let's see. While we're waiting for the questions to come in, oh, we've got a comment from Miko. She says, I'm a bull in the china shop sometimes. It's a hard balance being on the street and then bringing it down in the office. Everything we do is level 10, even at 4 a.m. It's exhausting. You're right. It's very exhausting. And I'll say this, having been corporate over 20 years, I remember I was, clicking through the halls in the boardroom, just like everybody else. And the pandemic sat me down, and I realized how much happier I was away from all of that. And I haven't been back to the office since. Now I work remote because my man said, I like you in this space better because it is a lot harder. You're just going to have to be more intentional about swimming upstream. But the fact that you're aware of it is a really good start. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, and the level of stress that they take, they are wired for a lot of that stress that we're not. And the perfect, I'm thinking while you're talking, Maggie, I'm thinking about, this epidemic of us being overweight, especially women, is that level of cortisol that we have because of that extra stress that we've put ourselves in being in these really stressful work environments that really, you know, we we were not built to be that. In fact, my husband, I was going for a managerial position, and one of the things that he was concerned about is that he said, "Baby, you take stress very differently. That's going to impact you. It's going to impact the family environment. It could impact everything." So that gave me a lot of thought. Do I really want to get into that when, you know, we're okay? And he said, "Baby, we're okay. You don't need to be in that position." But it's one of those things that, you've been trained all throughout the corporate world that you have to go, 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 and you have to show that you can be this successful woman. But he's like, you don't have to, we're good. So that in a way, it's like, okay, yeah, we really don't have to. And unfortunately, there are so many women having to go, go, go because they think that they have to. And our bodies suffer. Our hormones and everything else gets impacted by that level of stress that we shouldn't be taking on when we have somebody that supports us at the home that says, no, you don't have to. We're taking that stress for you.
I absolutely love that. And that is so true. I mean, if you all have seen my cooking channel, I've been on my own health and wellness journey, and I was able to lose a lot more weight being home away from that stressful environment. Very similarly, I had an experience, when we were sent home for a couple weeks to wait this thing out a few years ago. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be right back in the office." I was going for a director role. I just had my eyes on that corporate ladder. And ladies, look, the big job and all of those successes, that's fine for us, but just keep it in perspective when it comes to these companies. It doesn't matter how high and mighty you think you are. At the end of the day, the companies will always do what's best for them. To absolutely work and meet your expectations. And if you want to go for that promotion, that's fine. But always remember your family is what matters. And so I would just advise, especially younger ladies, that you don't give your best years to a company who will say thank you next. We've got
Exactly.
a question from the condemned. So happy to see you as always. Thank you all for the hearts. He's got a question. He says, how do you two inspire your man? Oh dear. I've had women try to nag me into doing more in my career in an attempt to make me more ambitious. I had to explain to them that's not how it works. Oh, such a good one. And I think a lot of us modern women have probably had that type of experience and relationship. And I'll just share with you all, in my marriage, I married a simple Southern man. And I thought I was going to change the world and him in it. And that's not how it works, ladies. We have to choose wisely. A man is who he is, and they establish the life that they want for themselves, and then they take a wife to have the family that they want. So you, as the lady, need to look at that man's life and say, can I see myself in his world? It's not for us to yank them into our world, because not only is it going to be contentious, but you don't want to keep that up in the relationship. Believe me. So you have right of refusal as the woman. Either you can say, yes, I'm going to hitch my wagon to that, or no thank you, I will, pass. And then you exit with grace. But you can't change anybody, and you shouldn't want to have to change anybody because that means you're going to have to keep propping it up. Going back to what I said, we're not built to carry that burden. So that is why I always tell the young ladies, you don't need a hot girl summer, and be careful about that big career, especially in your prime years, because men establish relationships. That's what Kevin Samuels told us. So we have to, if we want marriage and family, we need to move towards that. I would say expeditiously. We cannot change a man, and you don't want the man that you have to change. Lucy, what would you say?
I love it. You don't want the man that you want to change. Excellent. So, how do you two inspire man? I think that the way that you best inspire them is to that they know that they're coming home to a peaceful, beautiful, clean, tidy, tranquil home. If they know that they're coming back to that, they will try to reach the stars for you. We don't nag them. We don't tell them to be more uh, do more in their career. Men are going to do what they're going to do. Your significant other, your husband, your boyfriend, they have a plan. Let them follow through with that plan. Your job as the your wife or girlfriend or significant other is to provide him with that home that he can come back and relax. That's it. That's the motivation. Anything else is just, it makes no sense because, again, they have a goal, they know what they're doing. Men are wired differently. What we do is to make their lives easier.
I love that. And just a little disclaimer for anyone listening. Hopefully it's obvious that Lucy and I are speaking from traditional point of view. That's how we live, and that's what we believe. But I do understand, and I also accept that there are different kinds of marriages, and not everybody is going to be in the traditional gender roles. However, just know the type of wife that you want to be. This is what I tell my consults. I also do one-on-one private coaching if anyone is interested. But you need to know the type of wife that you want to be, and then exclusively date the type of man that wants that type of wife, because you're just wasting time if you do the opposite. I'll give you guys a little something funny. My guy, like I told you, he was going for a VP position. I didn't suggest that. In contrast to before, oh, there's a job here or an interview here. Do you want me to set it up? No. They actually resent that. And it's not fair to them because we wouldn't want anybody nagging us and trying to change us. But my man was going for a VP position, which kind of let me know, ooh, he's doing this with or without me. I need to get on the program. And today we were talking, and he was, he's got some financial goals and they're pretty lofty. And I was like, oh, I'm happy where we are. You don't have to do that. He was like, I'm not listening to you. I was like, okay, here I am trying to be all comforting and saying everything's okay. He was like, I appreciate that, but I wouldn't listen to you anyway. And that's a quote. That's what he told me. So you find the man that already has a plan and a purpose that he is comfortable with, and then you decide if you want to attach yourself to that. Celine is in the house. She says that her ideal situation would be your husband bringing 70 to 80% of the money home and you contribute 20 to 30. Absolutely. I mean, it's called a breadwinner role for a reason. And again, ladies, these are the types of things that before you get into a serious relationship or long term, you need to have these conversations. And this needs to be a decision between the two of you all. And if you have a circle of modern women friends, you might not need to share this with them because people are going to try and tell you, oh, you need a backup plan or you need to do this. You've got to make the best decision for you. Everybody's relationship is different, so just be mindful about that. Kim K says, thank you for those comments, Lucy. People think I'm crazy because I'm looking to leave my leadership position. I support you. That's all I'll say. Lucy, you want to add anything to those?
Yes, I mean it's I guess it's good to take into consideration what others think about your decision, but ultimately it is your life. You want the best for what's for you. They don't know what you go through. They don't know what it is to be in a really, really stressful leadership position. And if they like that, that's great, but that's not you. That's how I see it. Great. If somebody else wants to take that leadership position, great, great. That's not going to be me because, and also it's going to be where you are, what point of your life you're in. Sometimes, between our 20s and 30s, we want to be go, 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 go. But it's important to sit back and watch the women that have gone go, 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 what their lives are like at 50 and 60. Do you want that same life, or do you want to say, wait a minute, that's not really what how I want to end up? So, yeah, you do what is best for you, Kim. There's going to be, what is it? The peanut gallery always telling you, thinking what it's best for you. No, you know what is best for you. And that's that.
Absolutely. And if you feel it when you're young, believe me, it's only going to intensify as you get older. Miko says, absolutely. I just went back to work last week and I can tell now that it's time to bring the stress level down. All that stress is real. And that is what these companies, pay us for, is to tolerate a lot of that stress. So you just got to decide what your threshold is and just make sure that you put your family first. We got Priest Brooklyn in the house saying the man should pay 100%. You know, I can agree, yes, or I could disagree, but it goes back to what Lucy said. The couple needs to decide for themselves. I think a man should be able to pay 100% because he should be able to take care of himself before he takes on the responsibility of a wife and family. But I am well aware that there are some 50-50 couples. Maybe they choose not to have children and they're both working professionals and they just want to travel, the world, and they split everything 50-50. I know that's out there. We promote traditional roles in our finishing school in the courses that we teach, and that's why we're here doing these Q&As so you all can get our perspective. But absolutely, absolutely. Rosetta says, yes, that constant state of go go is exhausting. You don't learn how to relax. And I think men pick up your tension in high anxiety. Absolutely. And often flee looking for comfort elsewhere. That one was a mouthful. I'm gonna stay on that for a moment. You said so much there. Um, And it doesn't even have to be that hoo hoo ha ha energy, but people do pick up on what you're projecting. And a lot of times you don't even know that you're doing it. Babies can pick it up, animals can pick it up. If you have a lot of stress on you, it's going to show. So if you're just stuffing it down and stuffing it down, you're going to reach a breaking point because you're only human. I love what you said, Rosetta, about you don't learn how to relax. We talked about this in our finishing school about finding ways to promote your softness. And it's different for different people. I love the arts. And so I'm intentional about going to the ballet and going to the symphony. For someone, it might be different, but you do need to intentionally dial it back. It's not going to happen on its own. What would you say, Lucy?
I agree. Find those things that make you softer, that allow you to be that soft woman that you have inside. I would say if you love nature, go out there, just appreciate, trees, the leaves, how beautifully made they are. A rose, take a look at the petals, how each and every one of them are placed the right way. Look at your pets, just try to look at the beautiful side of life, because then when you see that, then that's going to reflect on what they see in you. And I think that because we are bombarded on, media and everywhere else with fear and ugly things, and it makes you want to take that protective shell of, being strong. But it's okay. Life is beautiful. We just have to learn how to appreciate how beautiful the time that we're on earth is, and take away those distractions, because after all, it's just distraction, and it's a magnifying glass to make you fearful about things that really, in the scope of life, at least it's not impacting you right now.
Absolutely. And we will be here with you all every week. This is our life's work, and we're just getting started. So much more to come. All right. So continue dropping your questions. We'll go for a little bit longer. Questions, comments, or I'll put the link in the chat one more time. While we're waiting on some more questions to come in, let's go back to our slides so you all can see what is happening in the finishing school. So we've told you about the hosting etiquette course. I will be teaching that with Lucy. If you all are interested, there is a link in the description. In addition to that, we are now on Spotify. I am so excited to share with you all these Q&As. Let me stop sharing. These Q&As that we have are now going to be available for you all to listen to for free on Spotify. So we have created the Finishing School for the Modern Woman podcast. You can watch or listen on the go. Right now, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, on Lucy's YouTube channel, and now Spotify. So I just have one episode uploaded. I would like to humbly ask if you all would open up your Spotify app and follow our podcast. I have a goal for us to get 100 followers. So between my channel and Lucy's channel, I think we can. The very first episode is up there, and I will be uploading the rest. We would love your feedback. We definitely want to promote our message, because we know what's out there right now doesn't reflect us. And if you've ever felt like being the oddball or there wasn't a community for you, we understand. And so we are creating that community, and we have so many plans for more courses, in-person events. So much more is coming. This is our life's work. So if you all like what we are doing, please support us on whatever platform you are on by following. And then also go to the Finishing School website, and link is in the description. Scroll down and add your name to our mailing list so you can be first in line about anything new and discounts as well. All right. So, Lucy, do you want to say anything about our Spotify or anything new?
To me, hearing that we are going to be on Spotify, it's a little scary. It creates a little bit of anxiety, because the introvert in me says, wow, we are out there. But I think that the message that we're sharing is one that we created with a lot of thought, a lot of love, a lot of intention. And the goal is to make, I guess, maybe society better, one little drop at a time. I think that we were on a live stream not too long ago where somebody said, but what you're doing is just a drop in the bucket. Well, each and every one of those drops, with time, it fills that bucket. So I think that that's what I think that we are trying to do with this.
Absolutely. So I had dropped the link to our podcast in the chat. If you all would click on that and open Spotify and follow us, I would appreciate it. We have 0 followers, so I would love, as you guys follow us, to let us know. You can just put follow in the chat. But Lucy's right. This is our life's work. Look, the internet is forever, and we do want to leave a legacy that is here long after we're gone. And we think very seriously and work really hard to bring you all a community where, like my man said, and I told our students, because I'm always asking for his, feedback and direction. And he's like, look, you ladies are already feminine. You just have to stop fighting it. This is how we were built. This is how we were designed. This is how we were made. And I think once we get ourselves in that mindset, we're actually a lot happier here. Of course, we can switch and do all the other things that we need to do, but I retreat back into this space as often and as quickly as I can because I'm happier here. All right, so we'll wait a few more minutes for questions. I'm going to go through the slides. We have one more announcement for you all. So far, again, the hosting etiquette for the Modern Woman registration is open. The class is Sunday, October 29th. There is a discount code for anyone on the live stream that's only good for a few days. If you're on our mailing list or an existing student, check your email. You all have even more of a discount there for supporting us. All right, so while we're waiting for the questions to come in, I'm going to go back to the screen share and always give you guys, thank you for the thumbs up, Big Ben, always give you guys the latest because we're working on so much good stuff. Well, I think it's good. Okay, so back to the slides here. Let me maximize this so you all can see. Some of it's a repeat, so I'll just kind of go through. Another offering we have for you all, and this is going to be 100% free. I am so excited. From November 1 through November 30th, Lucy and I are going to be hosting an Elegance boot camp. This is Vivian from Woman of Elegance, and I have connected with her. You all, if there's one thing I am passionate about, it is relationship building, and I have quite the network. So I am going to be sharing that with you all. Vivian from Woman of Elegance, I'll just go through the slides. We already have it here so you all can see. Let me just go back here. I'm just so excited. All right, so the Elegance Bootcamp. Vivian has a book. She has written a book, and it is called, let me see here, The 30-Day Guide to Elegance. So this is Vivian. She is on YouTube. That is her channel, Woman of Elegance. She's also on Instagram. She has over 400,000 followers, and she has agreed to let us teach her content. So she talks about etiquette and lifestyle, gives a lot of advice, and she's based out of London. So she is the author of this book, 30-Day Guide to Elegance. So we are going to be teaching from November 1 through November 30th, a 30-day Elegance boot camp. So kind of like the ESPN 30 for 30 style. It's going to be from November 1 through November 30. And each day we will take one of the days from her book, and Lucy and I will teach that here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Spotify now for free. We've already posted up the first episode, so you can turn on your notifications. That will be on November 1st, so you can set up your reminders. If you would like your own personal copy of her book, she is giving that to everyone at 20% off with the discount code Elegance20. But if you are a student of ours in the finishing school, it's already been downloaded to your dashboard. So you have access to the book right away. So let me come out and just see if there's anything else. All right. Oh, thank you so much, The Condemned. Lucy, do you want to say anything about our boot camp before I continue?
Looking forward to the topics are incredible. The visuals are going to be great. And it's going to be, I think, didn't you say it was 30 minutes each day? That's
Correct.
what it is, 30 by 30, right?
Yes. So we are going to have, right now we're here for you once a week. In November, it'll be once per day. So it will be a 30-minute hit it. We're going to focus on the topics for the day. We may have a little time for questions, but we're really just going to give you all the content. We definitely want to add value and give back. So there will be some paid resources, mini courses, our flagship course, the finishing school, but we will always be here for you all at least weekly, and now with the Elegance Boot Camp. Thank you, the Clue Channel. I appreciate that. We really appreciate the feedback because we are well aware. Lucy and I both grew up traditional nuclear family. We're both immigrants, and so our upbringing is different from what a lot of people experience. And so we know and we understand some ladies haven't seen this before, haven't even heard this before. So this is where you are welcome to come, get the basics, get started, ask the questions, and we have some very supportive and strong moderators that make sure this is a safe space for us. Miko says the class on Sundays, what time? Okay, so let me see here. So the Elegance, I'm sorry, let me go back here. If we're talking about the hosting etiquette, that is going to be Sunday, October 29th. It will be 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and noon Pacific time. The link is in the description, and I will also drop it in the chat so you all can see. Um, and you can register for it. It will be taught live, but it will also be recorded. And just like all of our courses, you will have lifetime access. It's a lot. If you go take a look, I'm going to drop the link right now. If you take a look at the itinerary and the agenda, we're going to cover a lot, and you may need to refresh. So you'll have the teachings, we'll have a workbook for you, just like we do in our other courses. For the Saturday school, for our finishing school, that is our flagship course, that one is closed for enrollment for this session because we've already started and we have a wonderful group of ladies. However, we will be doing another intake in January, and that's going to start January 9th after the new year, 2024. You can get on the wait list, and then next month we will open it up for enrollment, and that is taught Saturdays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 Central, and 9 a.m. Pacific. All of it is in the website. You can get the details there. Lucy, am I missing anything?
You got it. Take a look at Nakota's Stacker comment.
LuCasley bringing dad his pay. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna get tears in my eyes. They hug every time. I can't wait for November. Okay, so Nakota's gonna be there in the Elegance boot camp. I am so excited. I am getting a little teary eyed. All right, you all. So last week we had a question from Nakota, who had shared with us that she has been the breadwinner in her family, and her husband is at home, had been home with the baby, and is currently looking for work, and was complaining that their 4-year-old daughter did not show him respect. And Lucy gave some incredible advice. Lucy, do you want to remind everyone what you said?
You know, it's one of those simple, just recommendations and suggestions. I said, what I would do is I would ask your daughter to save for dad a plate for dinner or lunch. And she tried it and it worked. And I got the chills because this is incredible because those are recommendations that our grandmothers, our mothers, our ancestors would tell us if we ever had problems. Those simple little delicate touches, and it looks like it worked.
Absolutely. So if you all want to hear that, that was on last week's episode. And Lucy said that, while she was cooking, have your 4-year-old daughter serve daddy first and take him his plate. So thank you so much for coming back and letting us know that it worked. Again, ladies, back to the silent femininity. You don't have to say much. You don't have to shout, but just the way that you show up. And one of the things that Kevin Samuels used to say, and it's so true, men, yes, they appreciate beauty, but they definitely value our usefulness. So think about that in your relationships, going back to what Condemned said. How do we inspire our men? Consistency is a big thing, you know, with my men, with all men, but also just the way that I show up and being a support system and just allowing him to lead and allowing him to be and just letting him know whatever you say goes. I trust you. That just goes a long way with men, especially our men who, you know, are overlooked sometimes. And the world is hard. I wouldn't want to be a man. The world is hard on them. So those compliments really go a long way. So, so happy for you, Nakota. Absolutely. Okay. So Miko says that's perfect. Yes, 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 the truth. All right, everyone, if you have more questions or comments or updates, please chime in. I'm going to go back to our slides so you all have all the information. So, yes, save the date. It will be every day. I think we said 9 p.m. Eastern from November 1 through November 30th. So, if you haven't had enough, you're going to have your fill. And please tune in. This will be free. So, any ladies who want to be elegant, in time for the holidays, you may want to impress and refine. This is the Elegance Boot Camp, November 1st through November 30th. It will be a 30 for 30. So each day at 9 p.m. Eastern, you'll get 30 minutes of teaching from Maggie and Lucy. And Vivian from Woman of Elegance is going to make an appearance. I am so excited and so overjoyed and so humbled that she is going to join our stream. So, again, if you know anyone, go ahead and share the link and share it out. We've got so much planned for you all. All right, so again, for the finishing school, if you're interested in our flagship course, this is an 8-week privately taught finishing school. Our next intake will be January 9th through February 24th of next year. This is 8 weeks, and we have such a great group of ladies, and this is where you can come in, you can ask your questions, you can get coaching, private coaching directly from Lucy and I in a safe space. And it is going so well, and we have a great group of ladies, and we can't wait to do it again. So if you've got a Christmas list or a wish list, you might want to think about coming into the finishing school. If you've gotten feedback that you're masculine, if you feel that you're a little bit rough around the edges, if you don't even know where to begin with how to be a lady, we would love to teach you. Rosetta says, thank you, Maggie and Lucy. It's priceless information. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Nakota says, will November's courses talk about clothing? Absolutely. I believe day one is personal style. I believe so. And that's a huge part of it. But again, you don't have to spend a lot of money. This is Old Navy. I mean, it's really about knowing your body type, finding what flatters you, being consistent, age appropriate, and dressing for your lifestyle. If you work from home, having a whole bunch of gowns is probably not the best investment. And I mean like formal gowns, but we will definitely talk about style. Lucy, you want to add anything to that one?
I do. I love that you say, this is from Old Navy, because it's not about the price of the clothing, it's how you wear it, how comfortable you wear it. And again, for me, I am a staunch proponent of modesty. Uh, the more covered you are, the more mysterious you're going to be for your husband or for the guy that's observing your behavior. So, and you don't have to buy, I don't know, 100,000-dollar gowns or all of these name brands that, again, for me, you are subsidizing somebody else's lifestyle by paying that high price on something that really, you know, if you compare it to something that's lesser priced, you won't even tell the difference for the most part. So I think that learning that uh, high name brands are not does not necessarily make you the woman of value that you are is really important. And we're going to learn that on the Woman of Elegance, um, 30 by 30, I think it is. Is it the boot camp? Is that what it is?
Elegance boot camp,
I get
yes. I know we've
confused.
got so much stuff going on, you all. So we have the Elegance boot camp, we've got the hosting etiquette, we've got the finishing school, and ladies, we are just getting started. Believe me, Lucy. Lucy has seen my mind is just. I am loving this. So yes, we're going to cover what to wear, what not to wear in the feminine closet essentials. It's really that capsule wardrobe. So a quick little tip, ladies, you almost want to create a uniform for yourself. The clothes that flatter you, the clothes that you can you feel comfortable in, that you're instantly elegant. Because like my stylist told me, because I had to hire one because I always used to dress in just what was comfortable and stretchy, but someone is always seeing you for the first time. So I've learned, and we definitely will talk about that. Cannot wait. We have a question from Reaching Freedom who says, what is a great gift for a woman of elegance after 37 years of marriage? Give me the diamond. Okay, I'm sorry. That's me. Um, 37 years. Well, first of all, congratulations. If this is your woman, that is almost unheard of today. And I love love. You know, of course, jewelry is an easy one. But I would say if you've been with her for 37 years, you know what she likes. My guy knows that he could buy me all the shoes and bags and purses. I love trips. I would put all of those things back for an experience, right? So I think it depends on who she is, but hopefully, something that means something to her would really go a long way. What would you say, Lucy?
I agree. Does she like to be pampered? Would she be happy with like a weekend at a spa, or I don't know, schedule some foot massage, whole body massage, like a facial, all of that uh, lady, womanly kind of thing? Would she like that? So it's about being uh, observant about what are the things that she would love to do. And again, we're pretty good about giving hints too. I'm sure that she has maybe here and there giving you some hints. So pay attention to what she says, or you can ask her, what would be your ideal gift if money was not an option, was not an obstacle? What would be the ideal gift for you? And see what she says. Of course, you're not going to give her the moon, but something similar to, or a little more cost, more affordable type thing that would mimic what she would like if money was not the obstacle.
Oh, I absolutely love that. And please report back. Inquiring minds want to know. I'm so excited. Like I'm getting something, but I get happy for you all. So this is wonderful. Dakota says, I no longer wear tie dye because of Kevin Samuels. Yes. I mean, it's just, look, if you are in, Margaritaville or somewhere where it's appropriate. But ladies, just like they say in corporate, right? We need to dress for the job that we want, not the job that we have. We need to dress for the type of woman that we want to be. And it's a work in progress. But, if it's just not becoming, if it's not flattering, if you would have one of those like, oh God, I can't believe they saw me looking like this, it's probably not the best outfit for you. And yes, shout out to the Tip Network saying, Greetings, ladies. I'm just here to show respect to two absolutely classy ladies. Thank you so much for the compliment. We appreciate it. It means so much to us. Reaching Freedom says, thank you. You are most welcome. We've got Gillis here. She says, I concur with the ladies. It really depends on what she likes. Some people don't like to travel or don't like spa treatments. It's best to make it something that will mean a lot to her, a thoughtful gift. Absolutely. 100%. And you could ask her, like Lucy said, you can ask a friend or family member, has she ever said, I would love to do XYZ? I would love to spend a day with like a Michelin star chef. Nobody else would probably want to do that, right? So find what works for her. We've got Enviro Earth asking what are the topic of the questions? Well, we're calling it Ask Us Anything, but Lucy and I run a finishing school for ladies of all ages. We talk about femininity, elegance, and etiquette. But you can ask, and we will do our best. All right, so in these last moments, let me go back to the slides because I think there's one other thing. So far, we've talked about the hosting class. That's going to be privately taught. Link in the description. You've got a discount code if anybody's interested or knows a lady who maybe has a little bit of anxiety when it comes to being the hostess with the mostest. We will be teaching that. That will be a one-day mini course Sunday, October 29th. We also have in November, we have the free Elegance Boot Camp that's going to be available for anyone and everyone. We are also now on Spotify. So please, please, please find the Finishing School for the Modern Woman podcast. I saw that Condemned drop the link and follow us. I am asking for 100 followers. So if you all would please follow us on Spotify. You can take us with you. These weekly Q&A sessions, we will be uploading them to Spotify so you can listen on the go. All right, what else do we have going on? So much good stuff. So much good stuff. All right, so the finishing school intake for next year, ladies of all ages, we're saying about 15 to 50 will be in January. So we've already shared a little bit about it. I'll just give a recap because we always have new people. It's an 8-week finishing school, and they are private Zoom sessions that are available to our students for life. You already know that Lucy and I are going to be teaching it, and I love to hear why you all think the ladies need a finishing school. If you're interested in becoming more feminine, if you want to move with more elegance, if you want to have better etiquette, even if it's just for yourself or your relationships, family, business, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. We talked about that at our last class. So you can join the wait list for the January session. Enrollment is closed now. But one of the things that I'm super excited about, in addition to Lucy and I teaching, our students have access to our network of so many amazing ladies, and we have a new guest speaker. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Kelly Pitts. She is the femininity doctor. She has over 100,000 Instagram followers. She has written a book. She has studied sociology and feminist theory. She's not a feminist, but she's done a lot of work to study what has happened to us women as this feminist movement has taken over. She's definitely an advocate for traditional gender roles. And like I said, she's written books, she's had retreats, and I have taken her course as well. And I am so excited and thrilled to let you all know that the femininity doctor is going to be one of our guest speakers. So our students will have access to the material and all of the guest speakers, and she's just the latest of several. All right, so we got some more questions coming in. Kim K says, did you all lose your single friends when you got into relationships and marriage? Ooh, good question. Yes and no. Some lost, but it wasn't necessarily maybe a couple. Okay, there was one because of the relationship. But I just think naturally your friend group will change because you change and your priorities change. And people who are truly your friends are going to be happy for you. I was talking to a girlfriend today who's casually dating and not in a serious relationship, and flat out said, I want to get to where you are so we can do like couples trips together. But people, it's a part of life. Unfortunately, it gets ugly. If you get what people want before they get it, sometimes that, evil green comes out, but you just have less in common with someone who doesn't prioritize relationship. And so it just naturally becomes harder to, go out and do things together and have conversation because there's just less in common. And I feel like it just kind of slowly fades away. It doesn't have to be ugly. You can love people from afar, but it has happened to me. What about you, Lucy?
Yeah, and remember that once you become part of that relationship, you're not going to be making decisions on your own. You're always going to be asking your husband, asking your boyfriend, you know, um, if your single friends want to go to the club, you're not going to make that decision on your own, and you're going to have to um, confer or talk to your boyfriend or husband about that. And I am sure that they're not going to like that unless they are coming along with the girls. And of course, the girls are going to want it to be an all girls trip. But what is the husband or the boyfriend doing there? So it could create a lot of, um, uh, I don't know, friction. And I don't think you want that as part of your relationship. And naturally, when you don't have things in common, it naturally, the friendships just, it just diverge. You go your way and you go their way, and good friends will celebrate you for being happy with that other person. Pay attention to those friends that do not celebrate what things that are good for you. Pay attention to those friends that get very jealous because you're taking on a different persona, or a different lifestyle when you're with somebody else. So that's where you will lose those friends, and it's okay. You weren't meant to be with your girlfriends till you're 65 years old. You are meant to be with the man who chose you and the agreement that you made with that man. Everything else is just distraction. Again, that's how I see things.
I absolutely agree. Love it. So we've got Gillis who says, I would love to take a long drive in an Aston Martin with my music and no one in the car, nowhere to go but just drive, then come back home. If I had a husband, I wish he'd make the dream come true. Thank you for the comedic relief. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, that could be a gift after 37 years of marriage. Maybe she's a car lady. I don't know. But yes, absolutely. We all have dreams, and some of them will come true, some of them will stay dreams. Thank you, Gillis. Dakota says, yes, my current boyfriend made me aware to keep a clear boundary with my single friends and gossip. Ladies, I've seen it. And, sometimes these girl trips are glamorized, and sometimes there's not so good things, that happen. So just choose your friends wisely. Like Lucy said, you want to be around people who really care about you. It's just better to wait and not go, or go with your man or someone who really does care about you. We've seen tragic things happen with women who thought they were traveling with friends. I've actually, seen friends post online on social media how great this trip is. And when I talk to them one on one, I'm like, oh, how was your trip to France? And they're like, I hated it. I was miserable. I'll never go with those women again. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was so bad. So just be mindful of that. Anything to add, Lucy?
I think you touched all points. And again, just again, like Maggie said, be mindful. Just look out for the ones that want the good for you, and for those that are not celebrating you and trying to take you away from that good relationship. Again, there are friends that are going to be looking to see if that person is not good for you. It's good to pay attention, but it's got to be realistic.
100%. We've got Enviro Earth says, did you watch Desperate Housewives? Brie Vandekamp was the most elegant female character I've seen. When I used to watch TV, I did watch Desperate Housewives. It was a TV show several years ago, and this was kind of like a character that was like a Stepford wife, if you will, right? Everything about her was perfect. We live in the real world. Nothing about me is perfect. I just try to be the best version of myself. But I will say this, and I tell our students this: you can get inspiration from everywhere, and we can learn a lot about what to do, and we can learn a lot about what not to do. You know, I traveled recently and just keeping my eyes and ears open when I'm in the airport and just looking at how people show up for a flight in their pajamas, and don't even get me started on the bonnets, but you know, we can look at someone's behavior. I've been in boardrooms with women who have pounded on the table to get their point across. And I remember saying, I will never do that. It is not that serious. If I have to shout and be violent to get my point across, I'm never going to do that. So just always watching, and even if it's on a TV show, but you can see, or the Real Housewives, you can see what is becoming of a lady and what is not. What would you say, Lucy?
I agree. I never watched that show, but I'm imagining when you said the Stepford Wives, I can imagine that look. And yeah, we're not perfect, but and there is a level of behavior um, to be socially accepted, and there is some behavior that is just um, outrageous. And unfortunately, with social media now, outrageous behavior, whether it's good or bad, is rewarded. And the more uh, outrageous you are, the more clicks or likes or follows you're going to get. And that's not where we want to go as a society.
Absolutely not. All right. So as we wind down, Dakota says it was a lesson I learned the hard way. Like Maggie said, it's a lifestyle change. Yes, ladies, I mean, for any of us who have had to make any change in life, whether it's health and wellness, or if you want to exercise more, if you want to be more feminine, it's not going to happen overnight. And another thing that we tell our students is that you've never arrived. You can always get better. I make mistakes. I may be a few steps ahead, but we're creating a community of women that support this and inspire each other. We come back every week and share what's working well and what we're struggling with. So, absolutely. We have an interesting question from Enviro Earth, and I think this will be our last question. He says, I don't know if it's a he, what is your view on femininity in men? I don't believe men should be feminine. Full stop. I believe in masculine men. I am attracted to masculine men. Femininity is defined as the qualities that are naturally occurring in women and representative of women. That's what we believe. I allow everyone to believe what they want to. We can definitely work on enhancing our feminine traits because, like we said in the beginning, the world that we live in, the fast paced, competitive world, brings a lot of those masculine qualities on women, but naturally we are feminine. And that's what we promote here. What would you say, Lucy?
I agree, Maggie.
All right. Well, with that being said, we are going to wrap up another Q&A. We usually keep these about 90 minutes. So we gave you all a lot. Thank you all so much for the questions. Thank you so much for all of the support. So again, the announcements this week. Registration is open for hosting etiquette. Link is in the description. There is a discount code that's available. If you know any ladies that want to be better at hosting others, please share. And we cannot wait to teach. That will be a 1-day mini course. We have free content for you all coming up in November. The Elegance Boot Camp is going to be available here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and Spotify for anyone who is interested. The first class is posted, and you can turn on your notifications November 1 through November 30th. We are now on Spotify. I am asking humbly, we don't ask for much, but I'm asking humbly that you all would open up your Spotify app. I have a goal that we can get 100 followers on our podcast. There's only one episode on there now. I wanted to test it out, but it's working, and I will be uploading all of these Q&As so you all can listen to us on the go. So thank you for the hand claps, Big Ben. Thank you for all of the support. Thank you to our stream sponsor, Kim K, for the $9.99. And until next week, we will see you all next Wednesday for another Q&A, and for our students, we will see you in class on Saturday. All right.
Adios.
Adios and good night.